Hey ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, the podcast that likes to remind Pete that Southern Tier bought 716. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete. I knew you'd like that. By the way,
really good.
I do not share that intro line with anyone, so this is the first time they hear it.
These
every
fucking
single time.
intros are my favorite new thing you do, Mark.
Amazing.
Christ, they're so funny.
This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports tech and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell.
Tickle.
You.
Joining us tonight is our friend Pete Valdeon, or as we like to call him, Evil Pete. Good evening, Evil Pete. How are things with you?
Yes.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for having me today. It's really
Nice.
Is this only your second time on the show, buddy?
Number 2, all right. But hey, a repeat customer.
Who does number 2 work for?
I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
Mark, were you supposed to be speaking? Because you might be dead again.
Oh, no.
Oh no, you're back.
No, he's back. He's okay.
No, I was silently choking on my scotch.
Oh, jeez. I was about to remind everybody about the foundation for buying Mark a new USB cable. But
no,
the
that's our
foundation
Patreon.
now. It's a non-profit now.
Yes.
No, it's our Patreon. Buy Mark a new USBcable.com.
Yes.
No, not to be accused.
Oh my God, I want to
talkpod.com.
Yeah, I want to know if that website exists now.
Yeah, no, we should buy it. No, we shouldn't. That's a terrible idea.
No,
that is a terrible plan. Mark,
Anyway,
what's going on? You didn't ask me.
Oh, we're starting.
Oh.
I was getting ready to. Pete is doing things right now.
He's like, I need a coffee.
Pete's like, well, I got a second here.
I yelled at Pete a little earlier for not having a dull beverage.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
all right, come on, let's move it.
So, things are going pretty well with me. I played kickball last night in 40-degree weather. It was as much fun as it sounds.
Did you look like Jez Chisholm with his full face mask and hoodie?
No, I didn't have a face mask, but I had uber amounts of thermals on. I stayed pretty warm, and we did win, which is awesome.
Congrats.
One thing that's really exciting is next week is the NBA tip-off, of which they're raising the banner at the TD Bank Garden. Guess who's gonna be there to watch them beat the Knicks?
Nah, they're not gonna beat the Knicks. Cat's gonna pick up your guys. He's gonna be like, "Oh, look at this, save the ball." We have a 7-footer now, bitch.
Yeah, that's called a foul, John.
I don't even give a shit. 7 feet, draining threes.
Oh yeah.
They don't have Porzingis, so it might be a pretty close game. But anyway, I'm going to see the banner raised.
Is that a
yes? It will be on our socials.
That's a regular season game.
It's opening night.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
Why don't you ask your friend John to go?
John, how you? Well, because this ticket I spent was mucho dollars.
Yeah, I bet it was. Raise the banner, NBA champions.
That is pretty fun.
We're sitting in low section 2. And I'm going with a bunch of my real estate buds too, so it should be fun. John,
fantastic.
How you doing?
Dude, I am so excited for those pictures. I'm great. I'm always great on Thursdays because I get to hang out with you guys. I told Jamie that I give the show a lowdown of what we've been doing. So Jamie and I are really running through movies. We're through the Snyderverse and everything that she can see. Obviously no Marvel movies, lots of old action movies. I started her on, check this out, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner back when they were in their 20s.
Daredevil?
Old school Daredevil.
Wow.
That's what we just started. So I'm excited about that. She seems to like it.
Mad Attack, that movie.
It's not good. It's a bad movie.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was bad.
Jennifer Garner, by the way, she's still beautiful, but like in her 20s, my God, that woman is attractive.
So I'm trying to think of the movies that we started watching around the time when we were 12. I don't know if Jamie would be quite ready for like Aliens, Terminator 2.
She doesn't. Okay, so like we're watching
also boys.
The unrated version.
Agatha, and Agatha is scary, but like it is on the edge for her because like
I mean, it's not super scary. There's some like flashing lights and whatnot.
It's got a little bit of vibe, like they were like we just watched the most recent episode and like
I just realized I haven't.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so incredible. They did everything I wanted them to do. Complete wonderful payoff. I'm just like, Okay. Everything I thought was happening is happening. Excellent.
Nice. I really do need to see
He likes
it.
to walk away from his camera.
Pete, where are you?
It's not a video call. It's not a video call, man. This is live. This is a live program.
It is a beautiful kitchen,
I was
though.
looking for a charging cable super quick.
Kitchen is very nice. Anyway, how are you, Pete?
Good. I just took a coworker out for a beer or two to as kind of thanks for like the shit show that we went through. Not to be confused with Pete Valdeon's shirt.
You did your best supervisoring.
I did, and he was like a mini supervisor
really cool.
inside of me supervising, so he definitely more than earned it. So awesome. we hung out at the brewery that's like right next to our place for a little bit, shot the shit, and talked about work life and things like that.
And
so that was good.
What you guys are gonna wear to the Nerd Oscars?
Someday.
It's my favorite.
We'll get there.
It's my favorite conversation, man.
Yep. And
John's been gaslighting Pete this whole time.
I know.
The Nerd Oscars.
He's trying to manifest it into existence, I think.
I am manifesting this for you, Pete. I would be.
Yeah.
I want to hold your Nerd Oscar.
Do we need to go down the witch's road to manifest this?
Hell yeah, I'll do whatever. I'm in. And
Liam update. Ding 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 ding. He's now pointing.
I got rid of that soundbite.
You watch.
Oh right, Liam watch. Ding 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 ding. Or Liam update. He now points at everything and goes, "What's that?" Or like, "Ada, ada." Or.
But you know he means, "What's that?"
Yeah, because it's totally like right at something, and then he wants to touch it or like see it or like look at it. And you tell him what it is, and he's like,
Maybe he's trying to be like Keaton Thompson, and SNL's like, "What's up with that? What's up with that?"
I know, yes, maybe.
What's up with that?
When he's done with his,
yep. Mark, I really like when we break into song.
Yes. What's up with that? Okay. Sorry.
Where were we?
Yeah. No, and when he's done with his milk now, he also like gives the bottle to you. He's like, "All done." Oh no, we lost Pete. What is happening?
I gotta love these live broadcasts.
just so we don't, so we still have context.
Oh, he's in the wrong room again.
Oh no! What happened?
I got him.
John needs to IT the shit out of this.
Pete,
come back!
Stop doing that!
Pete, we miss you. Come back.
Where does he keep going?
I have no idea.
Oh no!
Turn your camera back on.
Stop touching it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, buddy.
Turn your camera back on and stop touching the keyboard.
I'm even touching the keyboard. It's weird.
Turn your camera back on.
You definitely did something to turn your camera off.
Yeah, because we are about to go into our next segment where we get to know Pete better. If Evil Pete would stay in the room. Technical difficulties, everybody.
All right, so
I love this show.
Let's go.
All right. Oh, do you just want to continue, or do you want
to? We can swap the order of things. We can do power rankings now.
That's probably a good plan.
That's probably a good plan.
All right. Hold on.
You want me to prompt you, Pete?
No, I got this. Mighty Morphin Power Rankings! Kings. Even though there is reverb already, I'm still making the echo sound. Okay. So this week was an interesting one in the NFL. We had a few more teams on bye, so it was a little bit boring to see the Chiefs and Vikings sit out because we wanted to see if they still deserve to be 1-2. Well, the Vikings got bumped by the Ravens, who just continue to look like the Super Bowl contenders for the AFC.
King Henry motherfuckers.
Yep. So Ravens are up to 2. Vikings down to 3. Not for anything they did. They were on bye, but we'll see what happens now that they're back from a break. Texans and Lions staying put at 5. Green Bay and Washington swapped due to Washington's loss to admittedly a great Ravens team. I have the 49ers creeping back in, though, into the top 8. Just because they seem they're getting healthier and they're starting to just round into shape.
They're not getting. They're getting. I mean, so McCaffrey's never coming back.
Aside from McCaffrey,
Jordan Mason is now hurt.
Yeah,
and he has whatever in both of his legs.
It's fine.
I know, but it doesn't seem to matter though. It's hard to stop the San Francisco train.
Well, I think they're a really good example of just a system that works for runners. They made Jordan Mason look like wide receiver 1, and now Isaac Gorendo had a 100-yard game. This kid literally drafted in like the 8th round.
Yeah.
Totally picked him up on waivers, by the way.
It's amazing what you can do with good coaching. All right.
Good coaching and a good offensive line.
Yeah. So, a bunch of teams in the middle. Let's go down to the bottom where we've had some interesting things happen a little bit. Miami, they are out of the bottom. They are out of power rankings jail because there was an announcement that the second Tua is healthy, he will play again. We don't know when, but just that news alone was enough to launch them up 6 points. And also because all these other teams below them, sorry, Mark, but they're not last. They're not last.
I agree that the Patriots are definitely better than the Panthers, especially with Drake May's performance last week. He looks pretty good. The defense did not. I was super disappointed in the defense.
And the Titans, I have them maybe optimistically at 28th, rounding out some of the bottom. Jaguars, I can't help but keep them down towards the bottom. I wanted to move them further down, but I just have zero faith in Will Levis or whatever the Raiders are trotting out these days, and the Browns. So.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry, Will Levis.
Yeah, Levis. And we'll see how they do against Buffalo.
Did everyone see Will Levis's Hellman's commercial? Because I really like.
Oh, the split.
Did he really?
The split, yeah.
Did he put coffee in or did
no,
he
he did a split on 2 towers of Hellman's mayonnaise. It was incredible.
Oh my
god,
god,
so cool.
Pete, he's back. We're going over some power rankings, my friend.
Pete, did you get kicked out of the kitchen?
I got kicked out of the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I couldn't find a charger.
Hey Pete, by the way, you're not sharing the power rankings on the live stream.
Oh shoot, I did not. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, everybody.
You are a great producer. Pete. Don't let Mark.
No. He's right. This is
Pete is great. I'm just trying to
I failed there. All right. So very quick recap for Pete and for our guests who have not seen this.
So Pete,
Chiefs, Ravens, Vikings, Texans, Detroit, Green Bay, Washington, San Francisco. That's your top 8.
Let's just catch Pete up so Pete Valdeon can participate.
Yep. We're going.
We do a NFL power rankings every week.
Yep.
Because Pete is awesome at his job and he made one.
My deranged mind decided to try to rank all 32 teams every week, and it's a lot of work. Not really, but it's.
And so we do a power rankings section. So we are talking about how the Ravens have creeped up into number 2. The Chiefs are still number 1 because no one can beat them.
Nope.
And
not until they lose.
The Giants aren't last, motherfucker.
Giants aren't last.
No.
Not even close to last.
So we've gone over the top and the bottom of this list. And again, if you want to see the entire list and peruse it for your own leisure, go to iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com/NFL Power Rankings, or just click on the button at the top of the website. Okay. Biggest movers, and then we can open it to the floor. The Eagles dropped 4 points because
fuck those guys.
Yeah, I know, but this is
barely.
We lost Pete again. This is a correction for last week when I kept them holding at 8 because they had a bye and I didn't want to move them on a bye. I probably should have. They were a little high to begin with.
They were probably too high.
Yep. The Falcons just continue to creep up. They're only up 2, but I mentioned it because they're very strong and they're overtaking some teams that I thought would decidedly be ahead of them.
Are you a believer in Kirk Cousins?
I am. I like Kirk Cousins.
Do you want to know who is in absolute free fall? It rhymes with the New Orleans Saints.
I think you just said the team. Well, before we get down there, Chargers, just keep an eye on them. They're climbing, and the Bears. They're both starting to get into their groove, looking impressive. The Jets, though, this is what I want to talk about. They lost to the Bills.
I don't get this. Yeah, I don't get this. Why would you move them up 5 points?
Just
because of one move that they made.
Because Aaron Rodgers has looked actually very, very good in the last couple weeks. He looks a lot more like his old self. He's not as mobile, but holy shit, can he still throw the ball? And all he trusts are people that he knows. And up until now, the most talented receiver on the Jets that he knew was Alan Lazard, which is not your best option. So to go from that to Devontae Adams is like...
They're besties, too.
Yeah, so maybe I'm a little overestimating the climb the Jets could do, but I feel like this makes them and the Bills, who acquired Amari Cooper in a trade, which we may or may not talk about. I haven't looked at all everybody's topics yet.
I didn't talk about it.
Okay, well... maybe we won't. But it's becoming an arms race in the AFC East. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, launching them up to 18. We'll see if they can hang on. And now, and we talked about the Dolphins jumping up 6, and the Saints just catastrophic fall with Derek Carr out for a while.
Catastrophic failure. Rashid Shaheem out now.
Shahid's out for the season too, which sucks.
For the season. Drew, what's his face? So
The
Drew
season-
Brees showed up today, but Derek Carr hurt.
Can Drew Brees still play
Chris
quarterback?
Olave,
I didn't
Chris
hear about
Olave
Shaheed.
concussed.
Yeah,
Shaheed was
it's-
out.
I didn't hear about Shaheed.
Yeah, so the
That's
Saints are just
today.
hemorrhaging talent right now to injury.
Hemorrhaging
So
talent.
we'll see what happens
Kamara's
if they
gonna
can hang
probably-
on.
Kamara's gonna probably beat some dude up soon.
It's inevitable.
Inevitable.
All right, so
Hey, Pete Valdeon, are we done with all of this chaos?
what's happening?
I'm not sure. I'm wearing my shit show shirt, so.
Oh no!
All right, let's
You
just
conjured
rein in the-
badness.
Let's rein in the chaos,
Okay,
bro. That's all we need.
everybody,
Right.
take a deep
We're gonna
breath.
pray. We're gonna pray to the we're gonna pray to the YouTube gods.
Okay.
All right, hey guys, what's the last name of a famous one-hit wonder rapper who was looking for a futon with the first name of a show in New Mexico with Bryan Cranston?
Tell me.
It's an icebreaker.
What?
It's time for warm up your balls.
Aw.
It was a lot better last week.
It was so good still so good, Mark.
Amazing.
I love our new segments.
All right.
I don't know how I'm gonna continue with this one
You
over
just
and
keep-
over again.
All right,
Just
so
keep asking AI to be creative for you.
so Pete, this is a new way to kind of break the ice and get to know our guest. And since we've already been on the show and we've asked you more specific personal questions, these are going to be more general questions, but they're very deep and thought-provoking sometimes.
Yeah,
So-
they're supposed to be quick fire questions.
Yeah, quick fire.
Hopefully anyone can answer them. They're
Yeah.
going to be specifically meant for you to answer them, and then if we
And
wanna
then we
chime
can
in, we
answer
will.
too. All right, guys, here we go. We're spinning the wheel.
All wheel noises added in post. Beep, 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 beep,
What's
beep,
your favorite sports team, and how did you become a fan?
beep. Ooh, that's a good question, Mark.
That's
That's a
your
really
question.
great question. I would say my favorite team was probably the Los Angeles Lakers basketball. And
Ooh.
I was always a
Really?
huge-
Showtime Lakers, baby.
I was a
Nice.
super huge fan of Magic Johnson when I was a little kid. He was my favorite basketball player.
Okay, yeah, that's true, right? That would be going back into the 90s there.
So, oh yeah, yep.
That's
So
awesome.
I would watch as many games as I possibly could, and when I couldn't watch a Lakers game, I was watching Larry Bird.
Yeah,
Wow, that's some
Larry
NFL
legit.
legends right there.
33.
NBA Pete. It's okay. We know you. don't
NBA
know anything about
legends.
basketball.
Sorry, I got football in the brain, guys. I meant NBA.
That's awesome, man.
That is
Did you
cool.
see the Showtime Lakers show on HBO?
I haven't not yet.
Fuck, dude.
Now-
Watch it. It's so
That's a
good.
good watch.
Did you continue to follow the Lakers like during the Kobe era and everything too?
No, not really.
You're like,
So it was
"That's
more
not why I like
more
them."
in your more a childhood team then.
Yeah, I was always big into Magic, and I prior to that I was a fan of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Going way back,
always
okay.
kinda
That was such a
liked-
good. That was such a good Lakers team.
yeah, for
James
sure.
Worthy, Byron Scott,
I got to
AC
tell you, Pete,
Green.
this literally this. So the show is called Winning Time. It's filmed with like a 1980s like kind of filter, and
Yes.
it goes over the beginning of the Showtime Lakers, like Rosie Perez running the Laker girls, like
Nice.
Kareem and Magic's literal first year, right? And it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh wow.
Everyone who's listening should give it a watch.
I'll check it out, for sure.
Especially if you're a sports fan.
I'm with you on that, Evil Pete. Though, like the Celtics will always be my first love. In fact, I'm
sure.
wearing a championship hoodie of theirs right
Oh,
now.
there you go.
I mean,
Number 18, and
yeah,
I'm
Larry
going.
Bird is
you-
just-
yeah,
oh, sorry,
Larry Bird
go
was my childhood hero. I'm going
Yeah.
to the banner raising of the banner night, opening night next.
It's gonna be
Tuesday.
really sad when you raise that
It's
banner
really
and then
awesome.
the Knicks beat you.
Ooh.
We'll see about that one.
It's gonna be you're gonna be like super excited for being champions, and then Cat's gonna score like 36.
So real quick on this topic, Pete.
Get like 15 rebounds.
Pete, anyone else? Does anyone remember the game
The
Double?
3-point line.
Yeah, from the 3-point line because he's so tall.
Wow. Does anyone remember the game Double Dribble on
It's
NES?
gonna be a great
Yes.
NBA season.
Okay.
That's
Do you remember
I had Double Dribble on my Game Boy.
Double Dribble? Do you remember the halftime shows for that? If you were the Lakers, it would be this weird lake with arms and legs sticking out of it, walking along the sideline as the mascot. It's just such a random memory popped into my head.
I think the men in Japan misunderstood that.
Probably.
I think they got it bang on.
Although to be fair, to be fair, I have no idea what a Laker is to this day.
I mean, it's a lake with arms and legs.
So clearly, we don't have to answer this question. You know, Mark, mine, and Pete's favorite teams.
Yeah.
Clear as day. So let's
move on to the next question.
Next question.
Spin the wheel. Ooh.
Spin to win.
This is a fun one. If you could learn any new skill instantly, so if you learn any new skill instantly, what would it be?
I think this was a ChatGPT question.
Like, I know Kung Fu kind of thing.
Yes, I know Kung Fu.
Origami.
Origami.
What would you do with your origami skill?
Would that be like because it would bring you zen and like peace of mind, maybe?
No, I think it'd be like an old school fidget spinner. It would like kind of keep my ADD in check.
Okay. But that's still right. It's still like as a mental exercise, and the fact that you're an expert at it would give you kind of that instant gratification.
I would use it to keep me concentrated and not like as like a rage kill preventative. I would use it to just kind of.
It's an insightful answer. I like that.
All right.
What would you guys want?
Next question.
What would you guys? Let's around the whole.
Okay.
What do you guys want?
I would like to instantly be better at bass guitar and actually be able to play it, because I feel like once I would get over that hump where I would know how to play it, then I'd play it all the freaking time and annoy everybody.
I agree with that. That's a good one.
But it's getting over that hump.
Instantly know a musical instrument.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Anybody else?
How about you, Mark?
I just said instantly learn the musical instrument.
Oh, okay. And what instrument though?
Drums.
Drums. I thought you were gonna go guitar because you're such a more singer-songwriter kind of person, or at least singer.
The two instruments that I would love to actually learn in my later adult years is piano and drums.
Okay, the piano's a good one too.
I see Mark as more of like as like a guitar person.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Only on weekends.
Amazing.
John, any skill for you before we move on?
The only thing that kept popping to my head is like I'm okay at poker, but if I was like really good at poker, because I love playing poker, and I'd like to really just make a whole lot of money.
So you'd want to just suddenly be like World Series of Poker caliber.
Yeah, I look really good in reflective glasses. Like it would really work out.
You would absolutely need to wear the green visor.
Hell yeah.
No. It's all about the hoodie these days now.
Oh, the hoodie?
So much
Okay,
gold.
yeah.
All the gold.
Is that okay? I haven't watched World Series of Poker in a while.
For everyone on the audio podcast, Mark has pulled up his Boston Celtics hoodie.
I have a better idea.
Awesome.
I thought I had sunglasses around.
Okay, so let's combine those two things: a hoodie with the transparent green visor coming out of the hood.
But I don't think I want the transparent green visor. I think I want a hat. I definitely need reflective sunglasses though.
Yes.
And the hoodie.
Yep. And you see your eyes
like
through them, and they think
color.
that's your tell, but it's not really.
You just gotta be careful. The reflective sunglasses don't accidentally show your hair.
Jamie recently chose my prescription sunglasses, and I have incredible gold tinted aviators that I fucking love.
That's awesome.
Gold tinted.
I gotta see these.
Awesome.
That's
so cool.
That's cool.
I pull them off.
All right. Yeah, you have the head for it. I do not have the head for aviator sunglasses. You got to have the right head for it.
Thanks, Pete. I really appreciate it.
I mean, it's a thing.
Great head.
I can't do it.
I love great head.
I was about to vocally do it, but I'm glad Mark got to it. Okay.
What?
I didn't say orally. That would have been worse. Okay, I've broken John. Let's spin the wheel. Ukka-Pekka Luukkonen. Do you prefer the beach, the mountains, or city for a getaway?
ChatGPT,
beach.
You're so fucking
Beach.
great.
Just beach it.
Just beach it.
Life's a beach.
Life's a beach.
That's right.
I mean, the kind of the inference to that is you're also in like a tropical place, right? You're not in, the beach of Maine, like in December.
You're like at Bar Harbor in November. Yeah.
But yeah, I you know what? That's actually one of my long-term goals, to have a beach house. Love to just be able to walk outside and you're automatically on the beach.
If you have a boat, Steph would want to visit every day. I'd probably lose Liam and her to your beach house.
I will never own a boat. I will never own a boat. That's too much of a pain in the ass.
Oh, okay. It was worth a try. Sorry, hon, I tried. Okay. I would go mountains.
I know people with boats.
Although beach is amazing. Beach is easy. It's like, right, those nice resorts and all that. But my heart sometimes is like with that mountain cabin and like those
like
kind
of cabin, like a log cabin.
Those are always fun. Yeah, it's different. It's a way
just
to kind of
away from the world.
Yeah, and it sort of defies, like, everybody's gloomy in the winter, and it's like, you know what? We're gonna get a fucking awesome cabin in the middle of the mountains and enjoy this snowy wonderland. I think that's kind of cool.
Is it because you ski, though?
When I saw Deliverance and I changed my mind.
The skiing might have something to do with it. All right, well, don't ruin it. Damn it.
Yeah, I would pick beach over mountain any day. What's the third one? I was
City.
Oh, city.
I mean, that's always a fun getaway too. Honestly, it's like I definitely see a big merit in all three. And Bo Nix has the most rushing yards of any human being in the NFL right now.
What the fuck is up with him?
He's Josh Allen.
He's trucking, man.
He thinks he's Josh Allen.
Wow.
All right, we digress. Next question.
Next. Ooh, this is a fun one. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Easy.
I have an answer for that.
I once worked for an industrial company that used to clean out boiler systems.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you'd have to travel around, and you'd actually have to be wearing a full Tyvek suit with a full face mask respirator, and you'd be cleaning out boiler systems in towards the 110, 115 degree temperature.
Damn, that's like, ooh, that's brutal.
Sorry, guys. 2 touchdowns, Javonte Williams. I'm fucking killing it.
Damn. No, that's rough, P. How old were you when you did this job?
I would say I was probably 23, 24.
Okay, so at least you were an adult doing it. It wasn't like 17, 18-year-old.
I wasn't 14 or anything.
Right. No child labor here.
No.
Okay.
Was this was this commercial too, or was it only residential?
It was commercial only. Yeah.
Oh, commercial
only. So big ass boiler rooms. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
So my worst fun job was my first job, where I was a short order cook in a local deli, and I worked with a bunch of Spanish men. So I made eggs in the morning on the weekends, and then the Spanish men would sneak me beer because they thought it was funny to give the teenager beer.
That doesn't sound like the worst job.
No, but my best worst job. My
worst job.
My worst job was I did like two telemarketing stints. Telemarketing is fucking terrible.
Oh, that sounds way worse than short order cook. Short order cook is stressful, but it can be fun.
Terrible because everyone hates you.
Yeah, it's just demoralizing.
And I did it when I was a teenager, so I was like obsessed with being liked. So I just like everyone was fucking yelling at me. And then there's so much stress to achieve. It was the only job I ever got fired from was a telemarketing job because I like. When people were like, I don't want to buy the $24 million of books, I was like, that sounds like a good plan for you. So I just like got fired. It was like, didn't sell enough manuals or fucking something.
Right. Can't blame you, man.
What? Britannicas.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you should save your money. These are really bad.
You should just have thought like, look, someday the internet's going to replace all of this.
Someday the internet's going to show up and it's not going to be useful.
There's still telemarketers.
Oh, I know. No, but I mean to replace the entire Encyclopedia Britannica.
I think we're out of time, you guys.
Aw. I wanted to talk about brand names. Shout out to being a stock boy for a company where the guy in the back just yelled at me the whole time.
Definitely do your answer though, Pete. What's your worst job?
Yeah. So what if I told you that the Sears catalog could be a thing that you walk into a store and look through, and then yell at a guy at a desk, and then they yelled at a guy in the back, and they produced the thing from the catalog, and you bought it right there.
Dude.
Wait, which job was yours? Which job was yours?
I was the last one in that chain, and it was bad.
No, so we didn't have a Sears. We had a service merchandising store in Melanie's local mall where you would go in.
Service merchandise?
Okay, yes. Yeah, they had they had the best catalog ever.
We're all old enough to remember that shit. And you would look through the catalog and there'd be shit out. And you're like, and you'd just be like, I want that. And they used to come out on a conveyor belt.
Okay, our store was nowhere near that cool, but it was the same kind. It was the way less cool concept of that.
It took forever, but I used to just play with all the shit that was out while my parents were buying like terrible cheap shit out of a catalog.
Do you know why it took forever? Because in the back, us poor assholes working there had no idea where anything was. All the heaviest shit. Like, I swear to God, there's one time there was a 250-pound like swing set thing that I had to lift by myself, and it was on the top shelf.
Did you work at a sweatshop?
It pretty much was. I mean, I was like 16 or 17, so technically I could work with working papers. But
did Sean Payton fix the Broncos?
Yes.
The Saints are just that broken.
What the heck was that kick, though?
The Saints are really terrible.
Yeah, they went downhill fast. They were as high as 8 in my power rankings, and they're falling far from that.
We would like to thank this week's fake sponsor, Huddle Hub app. Never miss a team meeting with Huddle Hub, the app that keeps you connected with your squad on and off the field. Huddle Hub, teamwork that is one click away. All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Let's go!
Oh no, that's too early.
I thought, wait, we're not done yet.
Mark, it's not working,
try it again.
man.
Yeah. Nope. Come on.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think it likes that one, man.
Oh no.
All right, I'll do another one.
Would it be funny if the cable was the only thing doing this?
Oh, we're on tonight. The next topic's gonna feel so right. Or first topic.
I like that.
Can you do it again with first topic, John?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on tonight. The first topic's gonna feel so right.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Shakira. So we rarely talk about the Dallas Cowboys, especially compared to most shows and or podcasts that discuss the happenings of the NFL. But this is going to be an exception. So owner and GM Jerry Jones recently celebrated, guys, listen to this, his 82nd birthday, just as America's team faced off against the kneecap-biting Detroit Lions. Now, what was the present that he got? Well, the worst home loss in Dallas Cowboys history since Jones has owned the team in a 47-9 drubbing.
Wow, yeah, that was rough.
Now, this podcast host has not been silent about the need for the dismissal of Mike McCarthy, and this most recent display will certainly not extinguish that opinion. So, everyone, how much longer will Mike McCarthy keep the Dallas job, and what other coaches might not make it to the next season?
You love coach questions, man.
I like it.
Coach questions.
I think that McDermott's on the hot seat, right? We talked about that.
As long as they keep winning, he's not. But
I mean, they're not really. I mean, they're winning. They're winning, but they're not winning.
The problem is
They do not
that
look good, Pete. They do not look good. I think McDermott is on the hot seat.
I think that Dable was on the hot seat, but I think that the Giants are maybe turning a corner.
Let me say McDermott should be in the hot seat, but I don't think he is, for the record.
By the way, Mark, whatever pitch you're doing, we didn't hear that at all, even though I saw your lips moving. Oh, you're gone. Oh, Mark's
gone. Wait, no.
It's back.
It's just I can't talk at a certain register, I guess.
Doesn't work at all. Their defense is in the top 15. Dexter Lawrence is 3rd in sacks. I mean, they lost again.
Dexy.
But I mean, like, Micah Parsons is hurt, though. That is a rough one for them.
Michael
Wait,
Parsons is.
Well, he's talking about Giants.
Oh, you're
and
talking about Giants. I thought we were
Cowboys.
still talking about the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. Never mind. I missed your
Did you see that?
I think the
switch
consensus
there.
is Mike McCarthy is going to be gone before the end of
Did you
next season.
see that Jerry Jones
start
lost
next
his
season.
mind and yelled at a bunch of
Yeah.
reporters?
Yeah.
this past
Because he's
week?
82.
Yeah,
Did
dude,
you
like-
also?
It's like, remember when we won the Super Bowl 30 years ago?
yeah, old
It's
man
like,
yells
come
at cloud at this point.
Did you also see that the Cowboys social media manager got in trouble for blurring the score when he posted the attendance to the game this past weekend?
Ooh, that's kind of funny, actually. I like that.
Also, did you see that? Did you realize that Dan Campbell is an ex-Cowboy and he wanted to hurt them badly? Like they were up by 30 points and still doing fucking ridiculous hook and ladder trick plays.
Hmm.
The game, as a Giants fan, as someone who has hated the Cowboys his entire life, that game was amazing.
Did you feel a little bad for the Cowboys, John?
I don't ever feel bad for the Cowboys.
Pete, did you Evil Pete, did you see that the Cowboy Lions game at all?
The drubbing.
It was horrendous, and but you know what? Knowing the Cowboys the way I think I do, I don't think any one of them are going to lose their job. I think they will keep them on for the rest of the season.
What?
Maybe even give one of them a promotion. Who knows?
They're going to promote
here's an
Mike
interesting
McCarthy
question.
out of the position of head coach, so he can't do any
wrong
more
with the
damage.
Cowboys? Okay, CeeDee Lamb is still a top performer.
What's wrong with the Cowboys?
No,
but also they're
But
too
Lamb
top
is
heavy.
down a little
They're
bit
too
from
top heavy.
expectations. Yeah, they have no depth and they have bad coaching.
they have no
You have
depth, and they have
You
bad
have a
coaching. I
$60
think
million quarterback, you have $30 million wide receiver, and you're about to have probably a $30 million linebacker.
Yeah, I agree.
Where's the rest of the money going?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's really actually very accurate. I don't think they have any.
They used
depth
to
at all.
have the best offensive line in the game, and now they have a bunch of scrubs.
Now here's another.
Because all the money's going to like 3 or 4 people.
Here's another
Exactly.
question about the
Yeah.
Cowboys. The Cowboys won 14 games last year with essentially the same personnel. What's the difference?
They were a paper tiger.
They-
They were a paper tiger last year.
And they lost some key offensive line people too.
I
Yeah.
think that's probably accurate too. I think that the Dak
Lost
looks-
Antonio Pollard last year. They had a running back,
Yep.
decent running
Yeah,
back.
Pollard's gone. Now they have Zeke, who's like 5,000 years old.
Well, Zeke is like 1,000. Rico
I know.
Dowdle is a rookie and not that good.
Don't forget they have 2,000-year-old Dalvin Cook as well. I think he's still on the team.
He hasn't played yet.
A few thousand
doesn't
years
play.
old less than Zeke, mind you, in this comparison.
so wild
But
about
still
Dalvin Cook? Dalvin
old.
Cook was a top 5 running back one year, and then the next year he wasn't anything.
Just disappears, man.
Jets just threw him away. Cowboys are now throwing him away.
But like, there has to be a reason, right? If the burst has got to be gone.
Top 5.
Yeah.
He got you
Literally,
so much.
He
got
won.
you so much.
He won my fantasy league when I won with in our league. He won it.
Hey,
Dalvin Cook.
I was in the AQFL championship with him and Kamara as my
Dalvin Cook.
running back combo.
And then all of a sudden he's just gone.
Yeah, just disappeared.
Evaporated. Wild.
And my team went down with him.
I mean, I don't think they're going to get better, honestly. I think Dak is washed up. I think it's really easy to double cover CeeDee Lamb.
I don't think Dak is washed up. But like, I still think he's an
Dak
above
doesn't wash up.
average.
He's just not $60 million quarterback.
No, he's above average quarterback, but I wouldn't call him elite by any
Jake
stretch.
Ferguson is a bad tight end. I mean, they don't have. I don't. So, I will admit, Tim Faze was right. The Cowboys are bad.
But he also had it
we're
out
at
for
time.
CeeDee Lamb
Heard it
too.
from me
Tim,
first, John. All right.
yeah, no, Tim has it out for CeeDee Lamb too, which I do think CeeDee is a good receiver. But I do agree with him that the
But
Cowboys are.
That's all the Cowboys have now.
I know, but the Cowboys. No, he's right though. The Cowboys are all hype
They couldn't keep
and
Michael
no.
Gallup. I don't know what happened with
No fight.
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks got dead.
He's hurt.
Brandon Cooks got dead this year.
Yeah, and Gallup is gone. I think right.
And
Gallup is gone. Who was the?
Oh, Amari Cooper's gone, and now
Amari
he
Cooper's
went to
gone.
Cleveland. And now he's with the Bills.
All
All right, this is my list of coaches that I think are. But I actually think they're all going to get fired.
Let's hear it.
Before next season. So we mentioned Sean McDermott. We mentioned Brian Daboll, Dave Canales on the Carolina Panthers, just because that owner apparently likes to fire coaches after like one season. Matt Eberflus on the Chicago Bears. Now they're 3-2 now.
Really,
but
they're looking promising though.
Eberflus is not a good coach.
Okay.
Like Like he's gonna do something to hold that team back. I think.
You see Derek Carr patting Spencer Rattler on the back, being like, "It's okay, bro. It's okay."
Are there
Kevin
any?
Stefanski of the Browns, because the Browns are horrible, and you got to blame someone. You can't blame your guaranteed quarterback, right?
I'd be surprised if Myles Garrett was even still on the team at the end of the season.
Doug Peterson on the Jaguars. The Jaguars look absolutely horrible, and you just signed Trevor Lawrence to $50 million.
I could see that one too. Yeah.
Antonio Pierce on the Raiders. He's going to be the scapegoat, I think, in Las Vegas. Even though that's a terrible.
The owner is the problem with that.
They'll fire him after a year.
This is I think is technically his second year because he was an interim last year, right?
Tangent quickly with the news of Tom Brady now potentially being a part owner of the Raiders. Does that help or hurt, or does not matter? Doesn't matter.
I think that's just a.
And then the final one, Nick Sirianni on the Eagles, and I think Stoltzfus might agree with me on that one.
Sirianni should be fired. He's the problem.
You think so? I'd be interested to hear Stoltzfus' opinion on this.
He went off on Philadelphia fans.
And straight up.
Oh yeah, that was uncalled for, man.
We are over time, but straight up, what do you do here? Because he doesn't call the plays for a CEO head coach. What does he do for a CEO head coach?
Tell me what you do around here.
Does he
supposed to just like?
Does he game manage at least the end of halves and quarter? Like
he doesn't.
He cries at the national anthem.
He cries and says things and pisses off.
He's super emotional.
He brought his kids to the press conference where they barely beat the Browns. Like I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, we're at time. Let's move on.
All right, but no, I agree with most of Mark's list there. That's a lot of hot seats.
Stop trying to make the topic keep happening, Pete.
It's done.
If I lay here, if I just say here, would you talk back? 'Cause it's time for next topic.
So we're gonna get right into it. We're going to get right into it, guys. Relax, everyone. The Jets are fine.
I love talking about your favorite human being.
Determined to save their season, the New York Jets finalized a trade for star wide receiver, previously mentioned Davante Adams on Tuesday. This reunites him with close friend and general nice guy Aaron Rodgers, who seems to be the kingpin in the Meadowlands these days. The Raiders received a 2025 conditional third-round pick that could improve if Adams becomes an all-pro this season. Both Adams and Rodgers seem to be pretty pleased they're back together. Adams to even go as far as crashing Aaron Rodgers' weekly Tuesday spot on Pat McAfee. By the way, that's really actually kind of funny. On paper, Davante Adams clearly makes the Jets better, as teams can't just double cover Garrett Wilson anymore. Will we see that in both offensive numbers and overall wins, or will the Jets' curse prevail?
I mean, I think both could be true.
Yeah. Does it make them better on offense? Of course it does. I mean,
absolutely.
Right? You now have two epic level receivers on the outside.
Top guys.
Yep.
1A and 1B, like we've talked about on the show for our 2 years.
Sure.
Well, if I was Garrett Wilson, I would actually be a little bit mad about this. Now, I know that he's actually been playing it off. It's like, yeah, he's happy about this going on, but he's gonna get the ball a lot less.
Yeah.
A lot less.
I'd argue he isn't getting the ball enough already.
He's definitely not.
It's just all those targets to Lazard. All those targets to Lazard are now going to go to Adams, like we were talking about in the power ranking section.
I mean, it's funny to say that Aaron Rodgers only throws to people he knows, but defenses know that Garrett Wilson previously in the first 6 weeks was clearly their best receiver, and they were defending as such. So Lazard happened to just be open.
I mean, yes, Wilson is definitely the best receiver, but Rodgers, I feel like, I mean, we've talked about this. He's so freaking picky, and he likes his good old boys.
And he was starting to get that chemistry with Garrett Wilson.
A little bit.
Now that Davante Adams is on the team,
yeah,
I don't think Garrett Wilson's going to get 3 looks at it.
I know. I was going to say Wilson actually had a decent game against Buffalo because Rodgers was starting to trust him a little bit more.
Where do you put Garrett Wilson now? Is he your slot receiver?
No, he's the other outside.
No, because Lazard's going to be WR2.
Shouldn't Lazard be the slot guy?
Technically, yes. Lazard is their third best receiver, but it's Aaron Rodgers at he's the quarterback. So it's going to be Adams is going to be WR1, and Lazard is going to be WR2. So that leaves essentially your Z to be Garrett Wilson.
So are we going to go back to the era of like the Z receiver being a dominant like X type body in a Z position like Andre Reed or Michael Irvin? Or no?
Garrett Wilson, in a lot of respects, probably is there. It's still even with Devontae Adams.
He may be the most talented receiver. That's true. Yeah. But
except in the red zone, Devontae Adams is going to probably get he's 10 touchdowns before the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued. And this is why I push them so high in the rankings, because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt for this. I feel like that's a big ass move.
Too nice, I think.
Maybe.
No,
we'll see. I would love to be proven wrong as a Bills fan.
We do realize that Garrett Wilson is 7 years younger than Devontae Adams, right?
Oh, I know.
More than that.
Well, and
he's 24.
But this is the thing.
31.
Wilson.
Hold on. Evil Pete, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
I don't really have all the kind of stats that you guys have on these guys. I just know the history of the Jets and always blowing it. So I don't foresee anything really changing with their season. I find the way Rodgers plays is to be incredibly predictable, and I think if he plays against a really good defense, that they're going to smoke him every time.
He can't move anymore. That's true.
Well, I think that's really specific because he's not that mobile. His arm is still there, but he's not that mobile.
He's also cerebrally, he's very quick with getting the ball out. And the question is now, is Adams enough to overcome his now mobility deficiencies, I guess, and that offensive line that looks like a freaking porous.
No, they're not as porous as last year because he did make a full game this year, which is nice.
He did. He's lasted a lot longer.
6 full games, Mark. 6 full games.
What was that bet? Was that over under 4?
Let's ask a follow up question to Evil Pete. Pete, do you think Aaron Rodgers got Nathaniel Hackett fired?
Not fired, just brushed under the rug.
You know what? I actually think that was the interim head coach.
Saleh.
Robert
Saleh.
Speaking of coaches getting fired.
Hey, do you think he got Robert Saleh fired because he doesn't like him? And do you think he has a direct line to Woody to make all the decisions or just some of the decisions? Also, do you think he's a cave troll and has gone crazy?
So all the
as
above.
John likes to say,
but I would say all the above. I think Rodgers was probably a crybaby, and it was
Let's rag on that motherfucker.
It's either you or me type situation, or me or him, and I think that they just kicked him to the curb because they know they have to keep him.
The memes this week have been so fun, where he just barges into the GM's office and says the shit he wants to happen, and they're like, "Okay, Mr. Rodgers."
I'm so intrigued to see what the aftermath or the fallout of this apocalypse will be when Rodgers inevitably in the next year or two ages out and is done. Adams is still in his prime now, but he's not going to last. And with Rodgers gone, why would he want to stay in the Jets? That's going to go away.
This is he'll probably just go to the Saints.
Can we just follow up with the fact that he's still 31 years old and he can't be in his prime?
Isn't he 32?
He's almost 32.
He's a wide receiver in his 30s, and
right.
They tend not to have a lot of good years left.
No, he's done.
Unless your name is Jerry Rice.
Now, how much money are the Jets liable for now that he's theirs? Because he definitely has a big contract.
It's about 13, or no, actually, it was 13 million last week. It's probably like 12 million now. So it's a decent chunk of change, and that was the problem with why a lot of teams wouldn't budge on it, because the Raiders refused to cooperate with any kind of financial.
Well, they wanted at least a
second-round
draft pick too.
They did. They caved on that, but they would not budge on the salary.
They got a conditional. It's conditional.
It is.
Yes, it's conditional.
He has to be ranked on All-Pro by Associated Press or get to the AFC Championship, I think.
Meanwhile, Amari Cooper, they only get rid of him for a 6th-round pick.
3rd.
I don't. No, Amari Cooper was a 6th-round pick.
Well, no, it was a 3rd, but then the Bills get a 6th from Cleveland.
Right.
That's what I mean.
The Bills swap the Bills get a 6th for a 7th, and then there's a 3rd in
the Bills pay a 3rd, but
there's a 3rd in there somewhere.
But the Browns also paid all but $800K of his cap salary.
Yeah, it's a really
So
good
basically,
Well,
the Bills
that was
got
because he renegotiated the contract before the season started.
they did, and they gave it all up front. So basically, the Bills are on the hook for like less than league minimum for a vet.
He's
It's kind of
essentially
amazing.
Free. When McAfee went
He's
over
essentially
this deal,
free. Yeah.
Yeah,
when McAfee went over this deal, he was like, "This is a steal." Also, we're out of time. We need to move on. So let's move on.
It's like a 1-season deal.
it's
Like,
big news
hope,
in the NFL.
I
though.
hope Buffalo takes advantage of it.
I hope so, but I mean, we'll see. I feel like they needed more pieces than just that, but we'll see if it's enough.
All right, let's see if my microphone can do this one.
It definitely can't.
I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Become excited, cause next topic's here.
We made it.
Really good, man.
It survived.
That's because you didn't do any high notes.
It was a little raspy. Anyway, well, we have 4 teams currently playing, but only 2 of them have the two. I'm sorry. We have 4 teams currently playing in the MLB playoffs, but only 2 of them have been the top overall seeds with the first round bye in their respective American National Leagues. Now, the current expanded wildcard format has been in existence for the last 3 seasons since 2022. And for those that are unaware, this means that 3 wildcard teams in the division with the worst overall winning percentage play a best of 3 series in the opening round, followed by a best of 5 series in the division series, and then 2 more best of 7 series, including the final round, which is the World Series. That sounds like a lot now, right? With this updated format, the top 2 seeds in each league get a first round bye. Yet in 3 seasons, only 5 of the 8 teams with these first round byes have made it to the LCS series, or I'm sorry, the divisional series, and only one I'm sorry, no, I was right before. Has made it to the league championship series, and only one of those 8 teams has actually made it to the World Series as far. So, as we discussed last week, Major League Baseball most likely needs the top seeds in the Yankees and the Dodgers to make it this year for the World Series, but time will tell what will happen. So, everyone, should Major League Baseball change out the playoff format, and do we feel the 2 best teams will be represented in this year's World Series?
So, I heard something interesting recently, and it was specifically talking about how the new MLB playoff format allows for 80 game winners. Okay, so there's 162 games in an MLB season. Winning 100 to 110 is really, really good. A lot of the top teams win in the 90s, and this allows the teams that win in the 80s to be represented in the playoffs. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
I think it is.
What's interesting about this year versus the last 2 years is that the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Guardians are all in the last round now, and there's only one of the play-in teams that are competing for the pennant. So unlike the last 2 years, there have been divisional or wildcard teams, only wildcard teams in the pennant race, and now there are top teams. What does that mean?
Do you feel like then those last 2 years were kind of a fluke since they changed this? Just coincidental, or
they definitely weren't? Because here's the thing: the American League teams that got kicked out in the first round were 110 game winners.
That's a lot of wins.
The Orioles and the Blue Jays last year were incredible. They were so good. Yep. And the Dodgers, who have been incredible for now 2 years before they spent a massive amount of money, they've knocked out in their first, and it can't be coincidence. Now, here's the thing, I guess. There's a lot of shit that MLB players do now. They practice in VR. I mean, they're literally practicing as close to realistic as they can before the games, and that momentum thing. And
hard to simulate gameplay, though. It really is.
100%. But something is different because, like I said, we're now mostly top ranked teams and less non-top, except for the Mets. The Mets.
You have 2 teams that were the number 1 seeds, and then you have 2 that weren't even close.
No, the Guardians came in were the number 2 seed. The Guardians had a first round bye.
You're right. I apologize. You're right about that.
Oh yeah.
So there's
barely teams. I think they barely made the number 2 seed though, right?
So there are 3 teams with first round byes.
Oh, to look at the standings
of the 4 teams that are remaining. I think that the Mets are living on the power of Grimace. I mean, they're going to lose. I'm sorry, Jeff.
The power of Grimace.
That's another thing against this is the fact that the Mets were the hottest team, but because of a best of 3 series that they played in the first round, and our friend Jeffem admitted this, they're tired now.
Yeah.
So
And they're playing a team that has probably the best pitching in the playoffs. Honestly, the Dodgers are going to be really hard to beat.
I don't know about that. Keep in mind the Dodgers had a long streak of shutout innings.
What's so weird about this Dodgers-Mets series is they literally killed them in game 1, got killed in game 2, and killed them in game 3. So, like, I don't understand where the give and take is. Like, the Yankees, okay, so the Yankees are now up 2-1. They won game 1 and game 2 close, and they played them very tight. They should have really, honestly, tonight, they should have won game 3, but they didn't, but they played them very tightly. So, I mean, I feel like the American League pennant series is much tighter.
Well, yeah, you said that you felt this series was going to go long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Mets are kind of getting the shit kicked out of them here.
I mean, they're not. I mean, they're down
the
1-2
games.
Yankees
bullpen is shit.
No, the Yankees bullpen is fucking incredible in the playoffs. Shit. No, it's not.
Okay, in the playoffs. All right. Yeah, they did well like in the last
point
series.
Of order, besides
until the start of the playoffs, they were shit.
Besides this blown save that Luke Weaver had tonight, he has literally closed every game of the playoffs in 5.
Okay. And how many blown saves does Weaver have this season?
He has none. He has literally one.
This season doesn't he have like 15 blown
he wasn't
saves?
even the cool part about Luke Weaver, right? Okay, so Luke Weaver wasn't even on the roster. Luke Weaver was a starter in Cincinnati. He came over, he made the team, and he became the closer in leverage situations because of all the pitches he has. He has so many pitches. Honestly, they really should have won the game tonight, but a guy got on in the end, and then the announcers were like, "This bench hitter is a power hitter," and then he hit.
John is all in on the Yankees. If we asked this question about, or if we asked him about how the Yankees looked a month ago, he would have been like, "This is the worst team ever."
Okay, so here's the funniest part about this baseball.
Well, he's been up and down on the team all year.
Okay, in this baseball
season, he's a stereotypical New York sports fan.
In this baseball season,
am I wrong?
At the beginning of the year, when we had Jeff on, we asked this question, and we asked the three of us whose team would finish with the worst record and the best record, and no one wanted to step up because all of our teams were supposed to be terrible. Now Jeff and the Mets, me, the Yankees, and the Boston still stayed terrible, but Jeff, the Yankees and the Mets
are terrible. They were 500.
Are in the league pennants this year, and they
both
look incredible. So the thing that I love about sports, that I think everybody loves about sports, is you still, after many, many years of watching sports, you're still surprised, and I was surprised. Straight up.
Congratulations on being surprised, John. Yankees still suck.
Your face.
Pete Valdeon, do you have any insight into this playoff race here going on?
I don't think Pete likes baseball.
What are the Red Sox doing, Mark?
Hey!
They're not in it. They're not in it, Pete. They're not in it.
You don't say. That's so funny.
Throwing shade right there. I like it.
Come on, Pete. Do it. Do it. Yes. Yes. Show that motherfucker.
I wasn't sure if John was high-fiving Pete or just refocusing his camera.
Did
where'd the high five sound go?
Yeah, where's the slap?
I got rid of it for the fire. Warm up your balls.
Oh, but the slap was so good.
Yeah, but it was also kind of bad.
It sounded like getting spanked.
It was like.
Oh, that was really good, Pete.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Come on. Circle it up. It's almost 11 and we're like 2 questions in.
Fuck. All right. Move on.
I want the next topic. I need the next topic. I love the next topic. I'm begging for next topic.
Wow.
Love it.
I've been waiting to use this question, but I think it works out. So we're going to keep bragging on the Red Sox. Former Boston Red Sox Chris Sale is set to win the NL Cy Young Award this year in what will go down as probably the best trade in baseball this season. Yes, even more than the Jazz Chisholm trade. To put it in perspective, Sale not only leads the MLB in wins, 18, ERA at 2.38, and strikeouts at 225, but at least at the end of the regular season, he hasn't permitted more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 18 starts, dating back to June 7th. So with playoff baseball in full swing, how important, besides the Braves not being in the playoffs anymore, how important is to have the best pitcher on your rotation, and what caused the Red Sox to feel that they needed to move on from Chris Sale in the first place?
Braves in the wild card round, You're right. Absolutely right. They lost. And what happened to Chris Sale in the wild card round? He was hurt.
He was hurt. He was hurt. So fucking wild,
he
right?
Did exactly what I thought he was going to. He just did it a lot later than he was supposed to, than what normally did. Yeah.
What a wacky turn of events, right?
He had a phenomenal regular season, but he did the Chris Sale thing, and he was hurt when that team needed him most.
Needed him so bad. That's why this question is so interesting right now. Because
keep in mind, Spencer Strider also got hurt as well, so their two best pitchers were not available in the postseason.
Right.
But how important is pitching? I mean, it's immensely important. While this is now a 23-year-old reference, the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks, who were their starting pitchers, Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, right? And they rode those two horses all the way to 7 games of the World Series and beat, unfortunately, John's Yankees.
Fuck you.
But starting pitching was so huge,
What
huge.
about
again?
What about the Houston Astros? All those years, the Houston Astros, besides the cheating, Justin Verlander, Justin Verlander at the literal pinnacle of his career.
It wasn't just Verlander. I mean, they had a bunch of really good pitchers. But pitching is so important,
even tonight,
especially in the postseason.
Even tonight with the Yankees and the Indians, Bird was untouchable till he was gone.
Ideally, in a postseason, you want your starting pitcher to go 7 innings, and then you give it to your setup man in the 8th. And your closer in the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is really not the formula for baseball anymore.
Nope.
Because they're in such a short leash, especially after going through a lineup the second time around. Like, it's become a thing in baseball now where managers don't want to see starting pitchers see a lineup for a third time.
Yeah.
They get yanked way before that.
Well, what I forgot his name. The Indians manager said one of his strategies.
Not Tito Francona. That's all I know.
One of his strategies was not to have the 3 horsemen in the Yankees lineup see the same pitcher twice.
Right. That's exactly his strategy.
It's literally his strategy is like, we're not going to show him the same pitcher. We're just not. So we have enough, and he has enough faith in his bullpen. It didn't really work in game 1 and game 2, and it really wasn't the strategy in game 3 either, because Bird was so spot on. But I think it's a good plan, really and truthfully.
You need to have a quality starting pitcher that can essentially do whatever you want. Now, yes, a starting pitcher should probably have a different game plan for each at bat. You have a particular game plan for the first at bat, and then you have a different one for each at bat after that. Like, you can't go add a pit because they just adjust.
It's just crazy to me that pitching is that granular now.
It really is.
It always has been, though. It really has.
But
the only problem is now pitchers are taught to throw as hard as they can for as long as they can, so they're only good for 5-6 innings.
Right, and then they're done. Right, long gone is the day where you have your starting pitcher who just runs the game for the first 7 or 8.
You know what's so interesting though about a lot of the pitchers that are in the American League Series, right? And so like Bird, but also like Tommy Canale, Luke Weaver, these guys, they can throw 95, but that's not their go-to. It's not their go-to pitch. Like Luke Weaver has 5 or 6 pitches as the Yankee closer.
Just too many.
Just too many. But like compared to Mariano Rivera, who had 2.
But he was really good at those too.
Even 1?
No, he had 2. He had a cutter. Shut your fucking mouth.
All he had was a cutter.
Don't talk about the king. He had a fastball. Fastball pitch.
All he had was a cutter.
Fastball's a pitch. Nobody likes you. Don't talk
All he
about
had was
guy.
cutter.
If it's fast enough, it's a good pitch.
That's right. That's right.
It was a phenomenal cutter. You knew that shit was coming, and you still couldn't hit it.
My goodness.
And now there is a difference between a slider, a curveball, and a sweeper. 3 different pitches.
Well, there was always a difference between a slider and a curveball, but now there's a slider and a sweeper.
Slider and a sweeper is a different pitch. It does a different thing.
It is, but it isn't. I'm pretty sure a sweeper, you have the same grip as a slider. It's just a different arm angle.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
And a curveball is a completely different grip and a completely different motion.
There's so much Pete who just maybe Pete's.
The Pete's combined here.
There is a lot of like mental gymnastics that goes into pitching, and like
it honestly, it feels like a rock paper scissors game, right? But the rock paper scissors that you throw out requires skill to execute. That's the difference.
Well, you throw at 95, but the bat speed is in the the low hundreds, 100, 110, right? But because of the distance, you're swinging before the ball is even let go.
Well, right, and that's why the rock paper scissors game. You're committing before you really know what's happening.
And you're so strong that you can move the bat up and down in the zone. And you can kind of figure it out, but you're committing to speed. And
Sure, but
you're kind of committing to location before it even happens.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of a game that we played in the neighborhood where I grew up, where we had a pool, and you would jump off the diving board, and while you're in midair, a bunch of drunken, older people would call out a certain kind of jump that you're supposed to do, like a dive, cannonball, twist, or whatever, flip or something, and you had to execute that while you're in midair, like, oh shit, so you kind of go up there thinking what they're gonna call. But you don't know until you're already committed to that air.
This story a lot.
But it's that kind of analogy, right? As the batter, you've already jumped off the board. You have 0.8 seconds to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do and pull it off really quickly.
Yeah, no, exactly. 100%.
So there you go.
I think
I contributed to a baseball topic.
I think we're good at Pete's diving analogy.
That was very good for you to actually be able to contribute to a baseball.
I tried with an analogy with something unrelated to baseball.
Pete, I'm sorry that you haven't been able to contribute to the last two topics, but I think we're done talking about baseball.
That's completely fine. I really enjoyed Pete's story on there because I can totally relate. You jump and someone would be like opener or something silly, and you would have to do whatever they told you.
The next time we have a pool party, we're totally doing this game, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just want to jump off your house and yell, "I'm a golden god."
Awesome. Do it. I expect it at the next party. Actually, Wingfest in the winter onto the pool cover. Let's do it. Okay. Mark.
We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Buzzer Beater Alarm Clocks. Wake up like a champion with Buzzer Beater Alarm Clocks. Start your day with the sound of a final buzzer, so you're already ready to win.
Oh my God. I have so much anxiety.
Buzzer Beater, rise and grind.
Wow. That is only for the hardcore people, man. Whew.
Tonight, the next topic's gonna feel so right. I was gonna do my Shakira voice, but I couldn't really think.
Oh, you should. Steph can do a good Shakira voice.
Waiting for Madonna.
I got one for the next one.
All right. There are currently 9 quarterbacks that are making an average yearly salary of at least $50 million. What's their overall record, you might ask? 26 wins and 24 losses, of which only 5 of these 9 teams have winning records currently. Now, these quarterbacks do not include, believe it or not, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, arguably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, or at least definitely top 3. So, everyone, do we feel that franchises... Do we feel franchises will change QB salaries since seemingly paying a quarterback $50 million a year isn't really worth it?
No.
No, you're probably right.
And
you can't go backwards. Pandora's out of the box. Pandora's opened the box, but you can plateau it
as we like to say.
Up.
Danny Dimes set the market at $40 million, and everyone just kind of built off of that.
But I mean, as the cap raises, though, can't you just? I think proportionally, other positions are going to have to rise faster. QB needs to level off here. Otherwise, it just
there's a need for it, right? Because $50 million clearly is not it's not, especially Patrick Mahomes. Again, I've said this before. Patrick Mahomes should be the bar. Where are you in relation to Patrick Mahomes?
But Mahomes' salary got done years ago.
Jared Goff
same with
better
Allen.
than Patrick Mahomes? Is Jared Goff better than Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
Nope.
But Mahomes and Allen got in before this explosion of salaries.
Is Trevor Lawrence better than Patrick Mahomes? You shouldn't be making more than
We have to take a moment, though, and also realize that Patrick Mahomes is pulling a Tom Brady and taking less money to make his team better.
When he signed his contract, it was the biggest QB contract ever. It's just they've gone up astronomically since then.
It was a $10 million deal spread, and remember that most NFL contracts are backloaded. So while the average salary, it was a 10-year deal. But while the average was around $40 million, because it was backloaded, he was only making like $20 million, which is
at the end of the day, top quarterbacks, the compensation of top quarterbacks is an unsustainable financial burden. And the teams that are winning every year, besides the Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes is a golden god, are teams with multiple players, multiple top skill players on rookie deals.
Well, Brock Purdy comes to mind for the 49ers.
The
right?
fucking Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he's making nothing.
He's gonna make a lot. He's gonna make
Houston
so much.
Texans who are able to live on the fact that they're paying all of their skill players almost nothing, right? Almost nothing. The Eagles when they were good. I mean, every team when you hit the playoffs in the last 3 years now have been all rookie deal people.
Isn't Jalen Hurts due for a contract too?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to the Eagles after that?
So much money from everyone else. You are essentially attributing 20% of your budget to one player of a team that needs 53 players.
Right. Here is a wild example. The Cincinnati Bengals are 1-5. And they have the best.
They've won 2
offense. They have the top 5 offense. They're literally scoring 40 points a game and losing. It's wild.
It is wild.
The example of the Cincinnati Bengals is 100% this question. 100%.
It's more the Dallas Cowboys. It really is.
No, the Dallas Cowboys suck. They score 9.
That's what I mean.
7,
That's what I mean.
I think the Bengals are still good, but they just have terrible luck.
The Bengals' average score has to be over 30. It has to be.
Oh yeah,
and
they are a top 5 offense, but they're 2-4 because they had to let go of all these strong defensive players because you got to pay Joe Burrow, you got to pay Jamar Chase. Although he hasn't signed it yet, he will.
And
just imagine when Chase and T get their money, they're gonna be so fucking.
Oh, T Higgins, no, you can't have both T Higgins and Jamar Chase. You have to choose one, and they're gonna choose Jamar Chase.
Of course they are, yeah. And we've seen the writing on the wall for that for a couple of years now. We've known this is coming to an end. This is probably the last year they're on the team together.
At the very minimum, just a chemistry aspect that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have another 4 years of chemistry that T Higgins just doesn't have.
Sure. I mean, they played college ball together. It's going to be Chase.
Trevor Lawrence done to earn $50+ million a year.
He's better than Daniel Jones, and his contract came due.
Yeah, but Lawrence,
that's literally what it is.
Lawrence is it's so frustrating. Like if I was a Jaguars fan, right? Because Lawrence, like you see these games where he throws for 300 yards and looks fantastic, and it's like, oh, this is the golden child that we all expected to come into the NFL, like the next Andrew Luck, right? And then he'll have a game where it's just a stinker, or 2 or 3 in a row.
He's not consistent.
Not at all. I'd be incredibly frustrated.
Does that deserve $50 million a year?
Let's go through the guys.
I don't think
the
so.
Lions are very good. I think that Goff's contract is probably very reasonable.
Yeah, Goff is 4-1. I have the list in front of me. So Dak Prescott, as we mentioned, 3-3. Joe Burrow, 2-4, as we mentioned. Trevor Lawrence, 1-5. Jordan Love, 4-2. And he's only done this on one season.
I don't know how Jordan Love earned the bag, by the way, but I think it's because
looks legit though.
He does look
legit. They're fun as
but
hell.
But Green Bay's team is good in general.
Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, Romeo Doubs. They're really fun to watch.
Who is on this list?
Yeah.
Now, when he's healthy, he's good, but
right.
rarely healthy.
He's so fragile.
As you mentioned, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, which I think he's actually up there.
Herbert's very, very talented.
Very good skill players.
No.
Lamar Jackson, as we said, and then Jalen Hurts.
I mean, this is it's the contract. It's what it looks like.
Guys, how would you feel?
They're all pretty good, but are they better than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen? No.
I'd argue. Not them Mahomes.
Are they all? Lamar Jackson is going to be up there.
Yeah, I would put
none of the other ones.
I could see Lamar above, like trading blows with Allen. Like sometimes Lamar is better, sometimes Allen maybe. It depends on the week, but this year so far, Lamar looks better overall. But yeah, I don't know.
Now, isn't Josh Allen due for an extension next season?
No, he signed like an 8-year deal. He's locked in for a long time, 8 or 10 years, just like Mahomes did. Yeah.
Okay, but all right. But we're coming up to the end of that deal, though, right?
No, he just started that deal.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, no, the Bills are paying like $40 million a year for Allen right now, I think. The problem with the Bills right now is they're paying $30 million to Diggs to not play on the Bills.
They
That's the problem. Like next year, the Bills go from having 3 million open in cap space right now to 60 million. It's a huge difference. They have a lot of dead cap.
I think Amari will help. I think he will. And I think we need to move on because we're out of time.
Well,
we are running long.
Shoot. Can I get one quick thing in? Would you guys be opposed or interested in QBs either being exempt from the salary cap or having a separate salary cap for quarterbacks that does not affect the team cap?
I think that they should be part of the salary cap, and teams just need to be smarter about what they do with signing their contracts.
I still don't. It's just what it looks like now.
I saw Pete shaking his head. What do you think? Yeah.
I agree with Mark.
And John does too? Okay.
I mean, I think that there should be no special rules, just like in our fantasy league when somebody suggested that there should be different scoring for tight ends. There shouldn't be different rules. That doesn't make any sense.
I think
that quarterbacks are a more valuable portion. I think teams that are good have better quarterbacks, period. Hard stop.
We just have to be more responsible how that cap is distributed, though, including that position. Okay.
The Daniel Jones effect has fucked the market.
It has.
It's Giants.
Always comes back to Danny Dimes.
I mean, I think it has because obviously all these guys that are getting 50 plus are better than Daniel Jones.
Yep.
There are no laws that exist without other laws, right?
Yep.
And now that Daniel Jones is apparently worth $40 million, Joe Burrow's worth more. Jordan Love's worth more. They just are. So I mean, it's economics.
So John, pretend for a moment that I don't know anything about metallurgy, engineering, or physics, and just tell me what the hell is going on about the next topic.
I was literally like, what the fuck is
Pete prepared.
Talking? I was like, what the fuck is Pete talking about?
I had that one in my back pocket the whole night.
That was amazing. Amazing. All right. We're not going to talk about sports at all because we need to talk about this. So we've reached the part in this story where real life is starting to look a lot like science fiction. Tesla's We Robot Day last week unveiled their robotaxi as well as an army of dystopian faceless Optimus robots that serve drinks and answered questions during the after party. It was later found out that the robots weren't autonomous and were in fact piloted by Tesla engineers. The event was supposed to drum up excitement, and stock prices did the opposite, causing both investors and the public to run scared and shares to drop 8.8% the next day. I heard that Elon Musk literally lost $1.34 billion of wealth because of this event. So, as we progress closer to Blade Runner-style robot assistants, do we think the world is ready? And would you get an Optimus robot for your house?
I mean, no. We're not even close. Like I get why Elon wanted to do this. He wanted to get the world excited about these autonomous robots. But he fell short. I mean, the fact that it was just a giant fraud scheme, right? Like like the bartenders that were supposed to be these robots were being controlled by humans the whole time, like you said. And it's all right, the idea of it is great, but if you're not ready for it, then why have this event?
Yeah, it just seems like gaslighting to me.
Yeah, it's a giant gaslight.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Did you also hear that the direct? I think it was the director or producer of iRobot. He wants to sue Elon Musk because he actually thinks that Elon got all these ideas from
he probably did. Like he was probably smoking a fucking joint and watching iRobot. He's like,
he feels
I can have one of my businesses do this.
He feels the robots look a little bit too much like the Gen 5 robots that I can't think of what their names are.
That's hilarious.
And the driverless cars, they look too much alike. And
wow,
I don't know. Evil Pete, I saw you shake your head. Did you heard about this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all over the place. I think the general concept is pretty cool. Even if they're being piloted by engineers sitting in a room somewhere, I think that's kind of cool. You know, it's like a walking, talking drone. You know, but again, the way it was conveyed to the people that this was a fully autonomous, AI driven. Just it just screams cheesy. It's just if you can't deliver, don't promise it. And
Yeah.
I just think
Yep.
that this is typical Elon.
Do we think
Typical
that
Elon, exactly.
do we
He's-
think that they had maybe planned to have the robots be autonomous and something went wrong?
I think
Do you think they
he
would ever
probably
admit
planned-
that if they asked Elon
it-
straight out?
knowing what I know about Elon, and I have read his memoir and about how Tesla was almost bankrupt before
Mm.
they produced their first car because he just made he overpromises and underdelivers for like everything that he does. I feel that he made a promise maybe 3 years ago that he was going to be able to do this, and he just does not want to go against that promise. And I'm sure a lot of good people and engineers probably got fired along the way because that's what Elon also likes to do.
Yeah.
Let's do
And
a
he's
follow.
like, we have this event, we're going through regardless of what we have.
Don't get me wrong. To build off that, he's millions of miles ahead of everybody else. Like there's
Absolutely.
literally nobody else that is even in the same league as him. However,
So follow-up
he
question:
still thinks
if
he's better than he is.
if he has built, and let's just say at this event there were 20 to 30 fully functioning, essentially androids, what else exists? And maybe not even at Tesla. Like, what is Tesla doing behind closed doors that they're not unveiling to the public?
That's a good question because I don't know if there's stuff that they're not showing the public. I have a hard time believing it's far more advanced than what they ended up
There is stuff that
showing.
they're not showing to the public. I mean,
Oh,
I
of course there
absolutely
is,
believe
but
that. I absolutely believe that.
I don't think this is
And
like.
I'm sure Boston Scientific is doing the same exact thing. Like I'm sure the robots can do a hell of a lot more than just dance.
Yeah.
did you know that Boston Dynamics has a drone, a tracer bot that can run 40 miles an hour?
That is freaky.
That seems fast.
And look, I can do a lot of stuff, but I can't dance.
How long can it run for 40 miles an hour though?
As long as the
time.
battery lasts.
Do we feel like I love these conversations. Do we feel like we are 10 years out of a robot android autonomous police force, an autonomous military?
I mean, before you get there, you have to get an autonomous robot. And
They exist.
I feel like
you know they do.
But
There
in
were
order-
videos 5 years ago of the Boston Dynamics
You
Spot
think it's
dog robot
fully autonomous?
walking around Boston and being met by people, and people would post that shit on their TikToks, and that was 5 or 10 years ago.
I think we're close. Fully autonomous? I don't believe we're there yet.
They're hooked into
But-
ChatGPT, so it's only based on what internet
That's also
information
controlled
was
by
from like
robots.
4
That's all
years
controlled
ago.
by robots, Pete. You can't
Oh.
trust them.
Well, no.
OpenAI has released a robot, a video of a robot that isn't in the video, not mobile, but is doing multiple activities in a fully autonomous manner. It's speaking to the tester, it's washing dishes, it's moving stuff all at the same time. I think it's naive to think that is not the plan by someone.
Of course
that
it's the
Boston
plan.
Dynamics-
Absolutely the plan.
That
That's
Boston
absolutely the plan.
Dynamics is not talking to people at OpenAI. They're not building robots that are autonomous. I just think it's happening. I mean, it almost has to be happening when you think about it.
I mean, all these tech companies, right? They're a year to 2 years ahead of where they're going to go public with.
Absolutely.
It's just the speculation is how far, right? Unless you get an engineer at these companies drunk one day at a bar and they spill the beans, you're not gonna really know.
So
Why
we're at-
robot take place? Did it take place in 2025?
Ooh. I mean, are we talking about Will Smith iRobot or Isaac Asimov
Will
iRobot?
Smith iRobot. Will Smith iRobot.
Because I'm sure the book took place in somewhere around 2025 or whatever.
Well, I just want to chime in really quick on that, really quick, super fast.
Sure.
I'm sure that's probably the end game, but just because of just based off of what they're able to do with Elon's little bar scene that he had there, who cares? Like I know that's the end game for the fully autonomous. You could make these piloted drones, so to speak, just like the military does with drones. They've got some guy sitting in a trailer on the other side of the world controlling it. You could have a bunch of 14-year-old kids playing Fortnite, just switching over to their joysticks, piloting
Yeah.
robots, and I mean, the
I,
technology's there. So whether it's fully
this is
autonomous,
why I think it's fair to mention this kind of fraudulent activity. Is because there are people that are going to believe that it's fully autonomous, even though someone might the internet might say that it wasn't. But there are people, because they don't do their own research, that
Right.
say, "Oh, robots are here."
Yeah, they just read the
Because
headlines instead of actually
I'm sorry,
dive in.
this is essentially fraud that Elon Musk did, because he was saying no, they're fully autonomous, and then there were people find out that there were humans behind it. It's like
sure.
that's great. The people that actually did the research and the story and the behind it, they know. But there are people that are going to think that these were fully autonomous, and these are potentially also people that might think that the robot overlords are going to take over the world, and oh my god, we have to get a bomb shelter.
I mean, are there
There's
journalists?
there's just naive people out there.
Right. Are there journalists of major reputable networks and things that like the people that maybe would not do this research watch or read that would call out Elon on this kind of stuff and debunk what's going on?
Reputable? Probably not. But that's
Okay,
not
but
saying that all media outlets are reputable.
most are not at this point. But
I'm salty with society right now.
that's okay. It's good to have
On that
a
note-
certain
and on
level of
that note-
salt.
We have to move on. We have to move on.
Okay.
We were out of time anyway. I was literally going to call you off.
Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. It's time for next topic. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back.
From the next topic.
Amazing.
Nice.
All right.
I like
You
the
know-
instrument intro.
When I first proposed this topic, I thought there was going to be a little bit more weight to it, and then I did a little research, and it doesn't. But it might be still we were talking about anyway. So Sam Mitchell is probably not a name that the average NBA fan or even sports fan even knows about. But he played in the NBA from 1989 to 2002 as part of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Indiana Pacers. He then went on to coach. That included a head coaching stint for the Toronto Raptors. So why has he been in the news lately? Well, he is currently an analyst for NBA TV, and during a live TV broadcast for the preseason game, he and host Chris Miles started to joke around, and he ended up Miles ended up saying, "I'm surprised coaches get a paycheck for this show, and I think maybe you should do this pro bono, my friend." End quote. And Mitchell certainly took umbrage for this remark, and he went off on Miles in an old man kind of get off my lawn barrage that led to one of the most awkward moments in TV history. He was essentially going off. It's like, oh, so you're trying to be this dude that's hungry and whatnot. He went so off on him. If you haven't seen it on social media, it's definitely worth a look, because it is one of the most awkward moments that you will ever see. So everyone, is it fair or foul for Sam Mitchell to call out his co-host like that on live TV? And what other awkward TV moments can we remember?
I mean, of course it's fair. You should call out anybody for doing a shit job. I mean, opinions are part of journalism, right?
True. I wouldn't necessarily say this is journalism. This is supposed to be just a sports broadcast, and they're commenting on what happened in the game. And maybe talking about people's paychecks isn't really part of that.
Yeah, that is a little personal.
I mean, I didn't say it. You do a lot of these very esoteric things that
It's been all over the sports social media, and Sam Mitchell, it's worth a watch. He went off on him, and the host Chris Miles, you could just see how he was so embarrassed about what was going on. I don't know if he was embarrassed about what was said, but he was just like, "Oh shit, what just happened?" And it was so. Here's one reason why it's not really news now, is because the two of them have come together. It's like, oh yeah, we're still friends.
Okay.
We hang out at each other's houses. They're neighbors. So it's
so they've resolved
really,
the awkward on air comment.
I don't necessarily know if this was something that if this was a true beef, and they're now just doing the whole PR thing. It's like, oh yeah, everything's fine, or if this was really, I don't know. He definitely seemed triggered by whatever the comment.
You know what? And I'm going to just totally, because I don't know what to talk about with this, but I'm going to totally talk about what is the most awkward thing in at least pop culture media right now. Kanye's robot wife that is always naked. That's really cringy. I don't like that at all.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard about it.
And she looks like Kim, but her tits are always out.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just like, I don't know what's happening.
All right. I'll list some other awkward TV moments that I'm sure some of us may remember. Ryan Seacrest trying to high five a blind man and during American Idol.
Oh,
Does
shit.
anyone remember that?
No.
I don't know.
What season
that's
was
amazing.
that?
It was early on.
Okay.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. I'm sure most of us.
I mean
remember
that, yeah. The slap heard around the world.
One of the funnier moments, and it wasn't really awkward, but I just had to put this down because it's one of my favorite baseball moments of all time. Randy Johnson making a bird explode with one of his pitches.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Pete, did you see this?
He's hit
I
a bird
did. I
twice.
have seen that. Yes.
And it
But
exploded.
the one that exploded. Oh my God. I mean, I feel bad for the bird, but it was
Poor
just
dead bird.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? Yeah, it's
another one that was awkward. Jerry Seinfeld was on Larry King Live, and Larry King was going off. He mentioned the word canceled, as in like Jerry Seinfeld was responsible for canceling Seinfeld, and Seinfeld just went off on Larry King.
Oh.
And then Evil Pete, you remember that one?
I did. Oh yeah, absolutely.
This reminds me of our trivia
Jerry
nights.
Seinfeld bad?
Yeah,
man,
that's true.
so
I've never
bad.
actually seen him legitimately angry.
Yeah, and then going back to Kanye West when he interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, yep. That was a big.
Beyonce had the greatest album of all time.
What about all the lip syncing, the Sinead O'Connor ripping up the Pope picture?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, yep.
The Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yep.
I was at the. I remember watching it at the Tep House.
The Ashley Simpson lip sync, and then she did the
at
funny Jake
SNL. Yeah,
on SNL.
What else? Can anyone else think of any awkward TV moments?
I came up with a list because I didn't know anyone.
You came up with a good list. That was a good list.
I mean, that was pretty comprehensive. I like none as famous as that. I can think
Apparently, Geraldo Rivera stumbled into Al Capone's vault on live television.
So he says.
Well, I mean, were there cameras?
There's only so many things you can believe out of Geraldo Rivera's mouth.
Apparently, Tom Hanks dropped the F-bomb on Good Morning America.
I believe that.
Well, we're gonna catch up because I think we're probably good to go.
All right.
It's pretty good.
Do you know what time it is?
We're gonna try this.
There we go.
It's the fun topic.
We got most of it.
We have to fix this.
I know.
Most
We will.
Of it. That was pretty good.
Audience will.
No, it was pretty. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. You got most of it.
You guys, we will fix this so you can hear Mark's beautiful voice in its entirety as soon as possible.
Mark, you're so beautiful. All right, so I got to talk about it, and we talked about it a little last week. But New York sports doesn't get much better than playoff basketball at night in the city. And you might have saw it on our socials, but on Sunday, 18,046 fans, including If These Balls Could Talk, roaming WAN reporter and my sister, Melanie Campione, packed the Barclays Center to see the Liberty in a Game 2 finals battle against the Minnesota Lynx, which they won 80-66. The game extended the WNBA season-long viewership record-breaking, becoming the second highest viewed WNBA game ever, and the highest on ABC, averaging 1.34 million viewers and peaking at 1.82. This dramatic finish will set the stage of Unrivaled, a 3-on-3 women's basketball league founded by Liberty star Breanna Stewart and her wife Nafisa Collier, which already has a giant, by the way, television deal with TNT. As viewership continues to rise, can we expect to see a continued rise in popularity of the WNBA? And do we think that off-season 3-on-3 leagues professionally will help or hurt this trend?
Yeah, this was interesting. I saw this this 3-on-3 league. I mean, we've already tried 3-on-3 leagues with the Allen Iverson League as well. I forget what it's called now. But is the women's league also going to be half court? Do you know, John?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way to play.
So this is based off like the NBA has done this on the off season.
No. They're totally separate leagues.
Oh, okay.
And NBA is not affiliated with any of these leagues at all.
Okay.
In fact, most of the players that are in there are definitely not in the NBA, and some of them are the older athletes that used to be in the NBA, like Allen Iverson.
But we're going to talk about we're going to just stay on Unrivaled specifically because Unrivaled, and maybe because it's player owned, has a great roster already. Arike Agabole, Kelsey Plum, Brittany Griner, Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray. I mean, there's a million stars that are playing.
I know some of those names, and that's a big thing. Yeah.
And I think it's great because a lot of women players, they have to go overseas in order to make more money, because the WNBA season is so long, and they usually have to play overseas in order to do what the thing. But we all remember what happened with Brittany Griner, right?
Oh yeah.
So the winner of Unrivaled, the top team, is going to get $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
Each player is going to get a minimum of $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's literally the highest average professional women's sports salaries that are being broadcast. Literally ever.
In theory, I think it's phenomenal for women's sports. I don't know the long-term way it's gonna. I mean, is Caitlin Clark in this league?
She is not. maybe because Kelsey Plum. Maybe because Kelsey Plum is. I don't know.
So I mean, Kelsey Plum is great, but
not Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese. My brain.
Oh right, her rival.
That I don't think that matters. But who's the generational player in the WNBA right now?
I mean, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart.
They are phenomenal legends within the game. Who's the generational player?
I mean, sure.
Caitlin Clark.
Sure. And all the racists will come out to watch Caitlin Clark play WNBA basketball. Right?
That's so terrible.
I wasn't going there, John.
I mean, but it's still true. You got all the people who are like, wow, I really like the WNBA now that a white girl is good.
Ugh.
I think...
Do not keep that in the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's important to talk about.
You're not wrong.
I mean, maybe it's important to talk about.
Well, I mean, I don't think John is condoning that. I think John's calling it out.
Yeah. 100%.
Like,
so I think we should keep that.
We'll see how it plays. That withstanding, I think
I think the league it's a phenomenal concept. I don't know the longevity of it, because you're going to need people to watch. What is the number one draw in women's basketball right now? It's Caitlin Clark. I feel you need to get her in this in order to get because the only way that it's going to last is if people are watching and people are doing
so I'm in a devil's advocate this. I think that maybe one of the problems with this current season of the WNBA, and the thing that pissed off all the players, is that everyone said that people are watching because of Caitlin Clark. And the Fever did really well, but the Fever are not in the playoffs, and the Fever were not playing in the finals that got 1.85 million viewers. I mean, that's not what's drawing people. This is the fact that the league itself is better than it used to be, and it's because of money.
Absolutely.
This TNT agreement, this 45 live regular season matchups is going to be 3 nights a week. It's going to be on TNT. It's going to be on True TV. It's going to be on TV, right? And that's the thing that the WNBA itself has been missing, the broadcast.
The WNBA has been on TV for multiple years now, though. What has been the big draw? It was on ESPN for a while, and it was on, I don't know, it was on some other channels.
You know what every basic cable package has? It's TNT.
Yeah, but TNT doesn't really... All right, I guess TNT isn't airing the NBA anymore, so I guess...
Now, my concern about winter WNBA basketball is, guess what's on? The NBA.
And football.
So I don't necessarily know if they're going to draw anything that isn't their demographic, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if they're going to make it any better. And then this thing that we were talking about with Caitlin Clark doesn't help or hurt. Like, with these star players making a ton of money, not playing in the WNBA, does it does it help the sport overall? Like, I don't know. That's why it's interesting.
I mean, I want to support it. I really do. I just don't know if the country will.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like,
especially if there's no Caitlin Clark.
Here's another interesting point about it. Nifisa Collier and Brianna Stewart they're both on the women's Olympic team this year. They're both incredible basketball players, and I think they're also playing. But they also own the league. Like, it's just a wild conflagration of stuff. You think about it.
Evil Pete, you got daughters. Any of them interested in sports?
Yeah,
Your girls play basketball.
What's that? Yeah, so Emma's my soccer player. Grace is basketball, but most recently, Grace has kind of got recently into weightlifting. So,
whoa. Okay.
Yeah, she saw like little clips, a PG version of Logan, where I was showing her
PG version of Logan.
I showed her some mild clips of Logan.
Pete expertly edited the movie to be more family friendly.
I love this fucking
She's
story.
super interested in being Wolverine one day. So
I like it. I approve.
We're doing a lot of
she's wiry. She could be X-24.
Isn't it Lady Deathstrike? Isn't she like one of the like more advanced Weapon X projects that also has adamantium claws?
So Lady Deathstrike, okay, I'm gonna nerd out for just a second.
All right.
She did have adamantium nails, but she was around during when Logan was, but
her and Logan had some things though, right?
So X-23, which is a Weapon X, is a teenage girl, and the thing that made her so dangerous is because she had a lot of the same power set that Logan did. She had healing, and like the whole like Berserker Barrage. She was all like kind of a little feral.
Could she smell with her old canonical nose?
She's like the girl in the Logan movie, but she's also in Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, she made a cameo in Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yep.
Same actress too.
Yeah, same actress.
But going back to WNBA, I mean, Cameron Brink is a really phenomenal player, and I'm not gonna go down the same rabbit hole John went down with her, but very talented, but I really feel like she's being overshadowed by the Angel Reeses and the Caitlin Clarks, and
yes.
I really feel like without Caitlin Clark, none of these people really kind of get the attention that they deserve. So hopefully, they can capitalize on the success of Caitlin Clark and maybe spread the love a little bit among other players.
See, again, I don't necessarily. I mean, yes. There is always going to be an Aaron Judge and a Michael Jordan, and Caitlin Clark is along those like top bill lines. But like, I think that the WNBA is succeeding in the last, let's just say, 5 years because there's more than just Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. Right.
I just think that if they don't play this right, that the fad is going to kind of lose its energy, and people are going to start turning the channel sooner than later.
I think a lot of people were watching because of Caitlin Clark, and now they're continuing to watch because they notice that there are more great athletes in the WNBA aside from her. Now, again, Caitlin Clark is the generational player, so eventually she's going to have to start winning. And much like we've talked about the World Series and Shohei Ohtani, he needs to be in the World Series. Aaron Judge needs to be in the World Series. Do I want them to win a World Series? No. But for the sake of the big picture, you need to have these generational players win in order for a league to have any kind of longevity.
I mean, I think more than that, you just need good stories.
Right, but people don't want to know stories about certain people, but they want to know stories about these generational players, and then that essentially is your in. Once you get them in the door, you can talk whatever you want, but you need to get these people in the door, in the room.
You're naive if anybody is naive if they don't think that the MLB is currently actively marketing Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. They're actively doing that. And the WNBA definitely marketed Caitlin Clark, and they were very smart about that. But
holy shit, it's 10-2 right now in favor of the Dodgers.
Wow.
Yeah, it might be done soon, Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff.
Oof. Well, I mean, they're up 3. They'd be up 3-1, right? It's not over.
Both
They
of
would have
these,
won 2 in New York.
both of these schlubings are in New York. They have to go back to Los Angeles.
That is pretty rough. Yeah.
But they managed to win or they had 1 game in order to take it back to LA.
All right.
All right. Yeah, it's 2-3-2 now.
Oof.
We good?
I think so, guys.
So that has been our topics. We'll be back next with our friend from Bike Cars. In the meantime, you can catch our old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@IfTheseBallsPod.
And hopefully we'll be talking about the Yankees in the World Series.
And don't forget to subscribe to us by clicking on that little bell. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Evil Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
Looking forward to
You can follow.
rings.
That might be too premature. Follow or like us on our socials at @IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and now Reddit. Our website is www.iftheseballstiktokpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campagna and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel to say. If these balls.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
They would walk along the faces into the fields. If these
Okay.